Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Wisdom. This is our mini sidebar, which is sidebar is my monthly newsletter, and you can sign up right down there. It should be scrolling across. You can sign up right on the website to get that straight into your inbox. But for this week's Wednesday Wisdom edition, I want to talk about that evil stepmother I mentioned in the January newsletter. Now, disclaimer. I'm not claiming that all stepmothers are evil. There are some wonderful people out there in those blended families. I'm talking about those blended families that don't necessarily get along or have it all together. So let me share a story with you, and I'll try to keep this short. So I'll set my timer to kind of keep me on task here. But let's just say in a scenario that John Doe and Jane Doe get together. They've been happily married. They have a couple kids. They raised the kids in their first home that they got together, and it's a beautiful home. The kids are now off, gone, doing their own thing as adults. And unfortunately, Mary passes away. I mean, Jane Doe. Jane. I got to get my characters together. Jane passes away, so John is left alone. But John meets Mary a little while later, and they eventually hook up and get married. So Mary is his second wife. Now, of course, as married couples do, John added Mary to the title of the home. And again, this is the home that his kids grew up in, that they've known as their only home. And then John passes away. So guess what? If the home was jointly owned by him and Mary, then Mary gets the house. And even if John had some clause in his will stating that the house would be passed down to his children, because it's jointly owned, it automatically goes to Mary. It doesn't go to them. So now when Mary passes away and she has children from a previous marriage, then if she didn't give that house to John's kids in her will, they go to her kids or whoever else she has identified in her will. And John's kids don't get it. So when you're considering what to put in your will and who to give your gifts to, make sure you're also taking into account all of that property that may be jointly owned. And if you are the beneficiary, the expected beneficiary, make sure you understand about the rules of jointly owned property. And it's always nice to just have a family meeting and kind of hash all of that out to make sure everyone is on the same page, because it can get really ugly down the line when John is gone and Jane is gone and Mary is gone, and now you have these other family members kind of trying to battle it out in court. We don't want that to happen with our loved ones. So let's get that together. If you're not sure how that works, that's when you need an estate planning attorney to kind of walk you through that process and go from there. So thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you next time.